Sup, y'all? It's finally time to talk about Diablo 4. I have a Google Doc here. I know you guys can't see it because I'm doing game capture right now, but I wanted to make sure that I wrote down all my thoughts. I'm going to try to just go through this as quickly as possible because I know that I can tend to rant for a little while, and I don't want to make an hour-long video like I did with the Destiny video. So we're just going to go through this. All right. And I actually didn't write this down. The first thing I want to talk about is the shop, since we're right here. This is my barbarian. I'm level 83. I'm on Torment 4. I've been blasting the game. I've been solo. And I think playing solo is probably 99% of the reason of why I'm not level 100 yet, but we'll talk about that. Going to the shop, okay? Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I bought all the KFC chicken sandwiches, okay? I got all the cosmetics. I logged in day one of Diablo 4, and I bought the $100 platinum bundle, okay? Because I was like, I am invested in this game. I also got the Crypt Hunter horse. It comes with like this, all this bullshit, right? So I bought all this, right? And then I go in here, and I'm looking at these cosmetics. I'm like, damn, this armor looks sick. Oh, it's for the fucking necromancer. All right. Damn, this armor looks sick too. Oh, it's for the sorceress. Okay. Damn, this looks cool. What's this? Oh, it's for the rogue. All right. Damn, this is probably the best looking armor they have in the shop. Once again, it's for the necro. You want to see what they have for barbarian? What the fuck is this, man? What is this? Like, I get it, okay? We're a barbarian. The lion's kind of cool. Like, okay, this armor isn't that bad. Is it $22 not that bad? No, I don't think so. Then we'll go in here. Look at this one. This armor, it looks cool, right? Is it $24 cool? No, it's not $24 cool, right? So this is the problem I'm kind of having, where the items in the shop, even the mounts, like, look at this mount armor. Ooh, it's gold. Like, who cares? Look at this. This right here is probably the coolest mount armor in the game. But I don't know, man. It's not as flashy as I want it to be. Especially not for $15 or $16, right? So I haven't bought a single thing in the shop except for the platinum and this, because this had more platinum in it. And when you look at my barbarian, this is not a premium skin. Why can I not click on him? Oh, is it like RP first? Okay, yeah. So this is not a premium skin. This is just stuff that I found in game. This is the Archon helm, the Warlord plate. I think this one is just called I don't know how to say it. Chassis. I don't fucking know, man. And then I got some boots. I got these fucking dope ass weapons. These are from, I believe, the Twitch drops. And then I got the backpack from the beta and everything. So, I mean, yeah, this skin to me looks way better than any of the barbarian skins in the shop. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick. So far, I'm not super impressed with the shop. I haven't seen the battle pass yet, so you know, when season 1 launches, I'm probably just gonna go in and buy the whole battle pass because I have, you know, 12,000 platinum. But whatever. Let's get in the game. All right. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the campaign. Okay. I thought the campaign was great, man. So when I was playing through the game, I didn't actually like watch any of the cutscenes or do any of that. I just completely blitzed through the entire thing as quickly as possible. I did go back and I watched the Diablo 4 movie on YouTube, and let me tell you something, man. Holy shit. The cinematics in this game are fucking insane, bro. Like, they just look really good. What we got here at the shop? Nothing. All right, I'm getting distracted. Anyway, the length felt good. but the progression as far as like your level is concerned, it did feel a little jarring. So the first 3 acts you go through, it's a completely smooth experience. You know, you're always on level. I think, you know, act 1 is like, you know, obviously it starts at level 1, then you end at like level 12. Act 2 is like level 15. Act 3 is like level 18. Then you get to act 4 and it's fucking level 35. And if you're like me and you're just blasting the campaign and you're not doing any side quests or any of the side content, which let me be clear, that's not what I did. I was also doing events. I was also doing sellers and stuff, just like random stuff that I saw. I was like grabbing altars that I ran by. So when I got to act 4, I was level 24. You need to be level 35. And then I was like, okay. So I tried to do it and it was like a little bit of a slog. I was kind of getting my ass beat a little bit, because if you don't know, if the enemies are higher level than you, you do less damage and they also do more damage to you. So I was like, okay, this is just, you know, this is going to take forever. I'm playing the dog shit barbarian, the worst leveling class in the game. So I just went and I farmed a little bit. I started working on my renown stuff, picking up the Lilith altars, doing side quests, doing dungeons, stuff like that. Got up to level 35. So I went in, blasted through Act 4. Act 4 is incredibly short. When I finished Act 4, I started Act 5, which is, you have to be level 45. I was level 37, right? And by this point, I'm on day 2 of the game being out. So I got into early access. Obviously, I bought the $100 edition. So I started Thursday night, and now this is like Friday morning. When I wake up, I'm in Act 5. And I'm like, all right, dude. So I went ahead and... Jesus Christ. All right, sorry about that. DoorDash got here and he was knocking on my door. Not gonna lie, kind of forgot that I ordered food. Anyway, what was I talking about? So I finished Act 4. I was level 37. I got to Act 5, and I'm like, all right, look, I'm not gonna do this bullshit again. So I think I might have went and farmed for maybe like, you know, 5 minutes. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to go finish the campaign. So I finished the campaign 9 levels under, man. And it was pretty brutal. But I ended up doing it. I got to Lilith. I think I wiped against Lilith maybe like once or twice. But overall, I really did like the campaign. I would just like to see them smooth out the leveling experience. And I know why they did it. It's because they want to artificially inflate the completion time by encouraging you to do side content. No. I don't like that. Just let us do the campaign. Okay? All right. Sorry, I just woke up, so trying to like gather myself here. Okay. So renown. All right, let's look at my renown real quick. I'm done. Okay. I've done all the renown in the game. Everything's done. It took a really long time because once again, I'm playing solo. I don't have a group. So the renown system is definitely a mixed bag. On one hand, I really love the account-wide progression. Okay. Starting alts with like, I think it's like 9 skill points, you know, you get all the extra stats from the altars of Lilith and everything. Feels really good. I really like that. On the other hand, if you're grinding out renown solo, you're going to have a bad time. The most efficient way for a huge jump in renown is to split farm all the dungeons in a 4-man group. The reason why is I can be here and I can complete this dungeon. My friend can be over here and complete this dungeon. Not only do I get the renown for his completion, I also get the aspect. So I don't know if that's intended or not. I kind of feel like it might be, or I kind of feel like they just don't really care about it because they've been pretty quick about disabling or nerfing things since the launch of this game, and they haven't said or done anything about that yet, so I think they're fine with it. So the meta on season start is definitely going to be obviously like blast the campaign, and then people are going to go into a 4-man and they're going to split farm all the dungeons because it gets you to like renown level 3 at least, maybe even starting into level 4, and then you can go around, do all your Lilith altars or whatever, which I think they said you're going to keep all the Lilith altar bonuses, so you don't need to get them, but they're pretty nice for renown. But maybe at that point, you'll probably just do side quests or something, do your strongholds, get all your waypoints, discover everything, you know, stuff like that. So, I really love the permanent stats from the altars once again. It's very alt friendly, but it is tedious. Side quests need buffed in a major way, okay? Getting 2 veiled crystals for a 5-part side quest that takes you 30 minutes feels very bad. I also think side quests should give you way more experience, man. Way more. Like, just make side quests actually worth doing. The leveling in this game takes a really long fucking time. I think I do talk about that later on in this document, so we're just going to keep going. I love the capstone dungeons. I tried to do the level 50 capstone at level 37, which is when I finished the campaign. I got absolutely obliterated, man. I ended up leaving, grinded up my renown. I finished all of the renown. Actually, no, I didn't. Not yet. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. So I did all my renown until I got to level 45. Once I hit 45, I went and tried the capstone again. I ended up clearing it. I had a few deaths, but it felt good, right? And then once I got into Nightmare, I ended up just fully focusing my renown entirely. And only once I had completely finished the renown did I attempt the level 70 capstone. And by that point, I was level 65. But I had min-maxed my sacred gear. Like, everything was leveled up. All my sacred gear was like level 4. I had all the right stats. I had all the right powers. I had everything. My sacred gear was just completely min-maxed. I had my whirlwind barbarian post nerfs, by the way. And I just went in and I went through the capstone and I just completely obliterated the level 70 capstone. It was so easy. I didn't have any problems at all. So I cleared that. I went straight into Torment. And then I started doing level 22 Nightmare dungeons. No problem at all. Right. And that felt good because, you know, I spent so much time doing this like monotonous bullshit. And I was not really feeling the progression, if you know what I mean. Like, the progression obviously was there. But once I got into Torment, that's when I was able to really see, like, okay, my character's actually really strong. And then I started getting these huge upgrades, even though they weren't the right stats. Like this level 800 mace, I'm pretty sure I found this like right away. It took me a while to replace these. I just replaced the sword, but I found like an 800 item level sword really quickly as well. And it just felt good, man. Like, getting into Torment, not getting absolutely destroyed. I was slow. Like, it took me a few days to finish all the renown and get into Torment. Everybody's ahead of me. People were already level 100. Everybody's blasting. And I'm just like, you know, doing my renown, getting my Paragon points, get my skill points, get my potions, all that shit. Got into Torment, and it definitely paid off because I just absolutely destroyed everything, and it felt good. So I did have some feedback about world bosses here. But they actually did fix it. I'm going to read what I put, and then I have like a little edit in here. So I said, world bosses were amazing in the beta, but now they're a joke. On World Tier 4, the last world boss I did only took 35 seconds, and that was slow. I think HP needs increased. I think rewards need buffed. As it stands right now, there's no point to kill a world boss more than once a week to get the cash. And then my edit, World Tier 4 world boss now has a level of 90. Unless you're in the Helltide, then it's 92. It takes a little bit longer to kill. You can still kill it pretty fast if you have a good group. But usually when I do the world boss on the highest level there, Everyone's like level 68. You know, there was like level 62s, level 70s, stuff like that. And I have noticed people seem to be having trouble finding gear in this game. So I can't relate. I'll show you guys, but yeah, the problem with that I have with them making the world boss level 90 is now you have to be level 80 to open the cache, or level 82 if you kill the world boss in the Helltide. So when that change was made, I was only level 77. So I couldn't open the cache. And I was just like, dude, this isn't quite what I meant. When I said make the world boss better. You made it a little bit harder. The rewards are the same, but now you have to level up to level 80 to get the rewards. And in my personal opinion, and I elaborate on this a little bit later, level 80 is not something that's going to happen for most players in a season. That's my personal opinion. But let's continue. So Helltide. Helltide is a fantastic idea. I think it falls a little bit flat in the execution. Mysterious chests are insanely rewarding, and all the other chests suck. So what happens in the meta now, if you've been watching Twitch or anything like that, the meta is to just go in, blast the Helltide. Hey, there's a Helltide up right now. I'm just going to go over here, so I'm not just standing in the same area. You go in, you blast the Helltide, you look for the mysterious chests. There's maps out there that show you exactly where the mysterious chest could spawn. There's static spawns for each Helltide area. So you just run around. I think you can find, depending on the area, because you can find 2 of them. How did I just get slay 5,000 cultists when I warped to town? I don't know. Here, let's fuck some dudes up real quick. There you go. There's the power of the barbarian. Yeah. Anyway. So you go around, there's like specific areas where the chest can spawn, you kill everything. In the first 30 minutes, I believe you can get 2, and then after 30 minutes they'll refresh and then you can get 2 more. That's what I think. I've never actually been able to do that because every time I go to the Helltide, it's almost over, or it's like 30 minutes have passed. And that's a completely different issue that I'm also going to talk about, is I never know when the hell the Helltide is happening. And I think there's a website called helltide.com or something like that that actually tells you when the Helltide is. But, so yeah, so the meta is basically just drop in here, get 350 cinders, open the mysterious chest twice, do it all over again. And that's, I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. There's always going to be a meta. Players are always going to find the most efficient thing to do. My problem with Helltide isn't really about the chests so much. Although I do think normal chests need to be a little bit more rewarding, because the mysterious chest gives you like, like 6 legendaries and forgotten souls and the flowers and all that shit. The regular chest, you might get 1 yellow. So there's definitely some problems there. But I do like Helltide. I like how the enemies are always, you know, above your level. So it always feels worth it to come in here and kill stuff. I just wish there was higher mob density. And I also wish that there were more elites. I wish there were more events. I wish there were more like rare spawns, like all that stuff. I think there needs to be more in here. I do like the fact that this is how you get forgotten souls. You know, in Diablo 3, it was basically just like, you know, do greater rifts. Greater rifts were the answer to everything. You want legendaries, do greater rifts. You want forgotten souls, do greater rifts. You want experience, do greater rifts. You know, everything in Diablo 3 was solved by greater rifts. Diablo 4 has a lot more variety because you do your nightmare dungeons to level up your glyphs. And then, you know, you also get a little bit of XP. Not great XP, and I'll talk about that. But, you know, you're blasting nightmare dungeons over and over and over again, and then you check the map and you're like, oh, the hell tide's up, I can go get some Forgotten Souls. So then you get to break up that monotony a little bit. You get to go do the hell tide, get your Forgotten Souls, do all that stuff. So it's pretty good. I do like that. So Tree of Whispers. If you don't know, the Tree of Whispers, where the hell, here it is, like these things right here, right? Grim Favors or whatever. You do stuff around the map, you unlock your Tree of Whispers, and then, oh, I got a legendary. Ooh, Ancestral Gloves. Ooh. Let me guess, they're probably absolute dog shit. Dog shit, but I like that power. So, all right, we'll keep them. Anyway, let me just get the hell out of here so I can actually concentrate on what I'm doing. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me. Oh, I absorbed it. Anyway, all right. So, Tree of Whispers, it feels like an introduction piece and not something that you should focus on entirely. Aside from, like, you know, if you're low level and your character just sucks, you can just go into like a Tree of Whisper area. Just start clearing these like little onesie twosies, like kill normal mobs, clear a cellar, like all this other stuff. And then you do all this, you get a nice little like bag of loot at the end. I've gotten up to like 2 legendaries from this. You get some mats and all that other stuff. So it feels pretty good. But like I said, it does feel more like an introduction piece. The only time I went out of my way to do Tree of Whispers is when I was already doing Renown in that area. So like if I was doing Renown in Fractured Peaks, I would go clear this dungeon just to get my 5 Grim Favors, because I would also get the Renown for it. Just stuff like that. I'm kind of fine with that. I kind of like the fact that it can be done passively. You don't have to focus it, and then it's just a little bit of extra loot. So, but it does definitely feel like an introduction piece. It does not feel like, you know, end game content that you should just focus on entirely. Currently, there's nothing about it. There's no like special item that you get just from doing Tree of Whispers. Like the Helltide, you don't get your Forgotten Souls, right? So there's no reason to like go out and focus it entirely. But I do like that it's kind of like just a passive way to get a little bit of extra loot for farming out in the open world. So that's fine. Nightmare Dungeons. Okay. Let's talk about Nightmare fucking Dungeons. All right. Nightmare Dungeons are supposed to be the pinnacle endgame activity. As it stands right now, Nightmare Dungeons feel like some of the worst content that you can do in the game. They give worse XP than normal dungeons. The negative affixes are fucking annoying. The amount of Nightmare Dungeons that are actually efficient to run are very small. Most of them are absolute dog shit. And I spend more time salvaging keys than I do running them. So let's look at my keys right now. Okay? Where's the guy? Where is the guy? Here's the guy. I'm in Kavashot. I didn't realize that. All right. So you go over here. In Torment 4... you can actually start salvaging your Nightmare Sigils, doing all that shit. World Tier 4, not Torment 4, sorry. So, Crusader's Cathedral. So I have a, if you guys follow Rob2628, he's from Maxroll. He was the first level 100. He's the big dick barbarian. He has a Google Doc where he basically lists out, these are the best Nightmare Dungeons to do. He has S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, whatever. Basically, all I do is I run the A tier and the S tier from his list. That's all I do, right? Because I get so many of these for those dungeons that I don't have enough space to keep all the shit ones, okay? But, so we'll go through here. This is A tier, A tier. This is dog shit, A tier, dog shit, A tier, dog shit, S tier, and A tier, okay? I have a lot of Crusader's Cathedral. Jesus Christ. I just realized that. Anyway, so that's what I do. Like, I run these dungeons. So what I'll do is I'll stack up a bunch of them. If we go to my stash over here. Why can't you boost in town? I hate not being able to boost in town. I don't think I wrote that down, but I'm going to add that in here right now. Let us boost in town. Anyway, here's all my keys. So I got my Zenith right here, Sunken Ruins. So basically, I wait until I have 5 of them. And then once I have 5 of them, I'll actually run them. So Crusaders Cathedral. Do I have any of these? No, because I just cleared these, I think. So I'll put all these in here. Ruins. Oh, no, Ruins goes here. So I'm actually capped. I'm not capped, but I have 5 Ruins now, so I'll probably run those next. Blind Burrows. I got 4 of those. It's good. Renegades, Retreats. These are the ones that I was just doing. So I only have 1 of these. So I need to clear this last one, and then I'm going to do all these. So that's my system for doing the Nightmare Dungeons, basically. Right now, I'm not super worried about the tier level, because, I mean, that does matter for your XP. For a while, the tier 24s or whatever were fine, because when I got to Torment, I was only level, 65. And these are like level 77, 78. Now I'm 83, so I probably shouldn't be doing these anymore, but I just keep doing them because crafting these is pretty expensive. I do have a shit ton of the sigil powder, 7,962, because I've never crafted a single key. But you can craft them. So when I start crafting them, I'm probably going to do like tier 36 to 40. I might do 31 to 35, I'm not sure. But yeah, I can just craft an absolute shitload of these. Once you get up into like, tier 91 to 100, obviously you can only craft so many. I don't think anyone is going to reach that. I think most people are going to be around here. They're going to be in this tier right here, and that's like ultra end game. Because tier 50 is like over level 100, I believe. So I think tier 47 is level 100. So most people are just going to stick it here. And then if you want to push for whatever reason, then you would go like up into these higher tiers. But as it stands right now, I don't think there's anybody who's ever going to go above level 50, to be honest with you. So, let me see. Leveling up glyphs. So your Paragon board, basically the whole reason you run Nightmare Dungeons is so that you can get glyph XP, right? So I had a choice. I could blast experience or I could blast my glyph XP. I decided to do glyph XP because I wanted the, just like the damage, the extra bonuses, right? It is tedious as hell. You're running the same shit over and over again. The most efficient way is, like I showed you guys, you stack up 5 keys, you run it once, and then when you're done, you can come back to town and clear your inventory, or you can just leave dungeon. And then at that point, you pop the key. Like if you come back to town, you salvage everything, you sell all your shit, and then you pop another key of the same dungeon. When you go back through the portal, it just puts you back at the beginning. So that's the most efficient way to do it. But yeah, leveling glyph XP is super tedious. Max level's 21. At level 15, you get this like red area expands, and then you can get like more shit to like kind of boost the glyph or whatever. So I'm getting everything up to 15 right now. See, I've got this one, this one, this one, this one. I'm working on this one right now, level 10. This is my last glyph, right? I'm working on the last Paragon board right now. Once I get to this point right here, I'll be able to put that glyph in. But I understand why it has to be that way, because they don't want you to have max level glyphs in like one day, right? But if I don't need glyph XP, if I didn't have to level up my glyphs, I wouldn't be running Nightmare Dungeons at all, because they're just some of the worst content you can do in the game. Normal dungeons are way better. They give more XP. You get, pretty much the same amount of loot. The only thing you don't get is your glyph XP, but you don't have to deal with the negative affixes. So my feedback for Nightmare Dungeons: buff the experience, buff the drops, remove the dog shit negative affixes, aka there's like a giant stone that follows you around and tries to kill you. I hate that. The lightning strike that tries to kill you, I hate that. The ghost that puts the bullshit on the ground, I hate that. Like, just get rid of them. They're not fun, right? So now that we've gone through, looked at Paragon board a little bit. Let's talk about Paragon board. When you first open this screen and you look at this, you're like, oh my god, what the hell is going on? It's actually not as complicated as it looks. It ends up being pretty linear, right? And I don't think anything in the Paragon board is really changing the way that your character plays. You're just stacking more damage, more survivability, right? So I go through here, boom, 20 physical damage. I go into here, vulnerable damage for my glyph. Here's armor and strength. Here's physical damage, And basically all you're doing is you put these glyphs in and you're trying to satisfy. So it says additional bonus if requirements met. So I need 25 dexterity to basically always make enemies vulnerable. So that's why you go through here and you pick all these. But as you're picking the dex nodes, you're also getting additional vulnerable damage. So now that this is level 15, I haven't respec'd at all. I'm sure now that it's level 15, there's like a more optimal way to go through this. There's like better nodes to pick and all that stuff. But this is just like the starter board. I'm following the max roll guide. So it's not super complicated. You can turn these so that you have these gates when you attach your boards, and you can rotate these. So if you understand like 90-degree angles, that, that's how it works. And there's a pretty linear path you can follow, right? Like obviously Barbarian, you want strength as much as possible. You want all this stuff. So you're just kind of picking the most optimal route to get to your glyph socket or to get to your legendary node. I would say for Barbarian, the Warbringer is probably the most game-changing. Oh, I'm 5 decks off of another 10% vulnerable damage. I should probably get that. But yeah, killing a bleeding enemy has a 10% chance to grant berserking. Like, these are all just like passive effects, right? They're not changing the way the character plays. They're adding a new mechanic. They're not changing a skill. So I would like to see Paragon be something closer to, Wolcen, Path of Exile, just some nodes in there. And this can be like an expansion, or, this can be seasonal, anything like that. I would just like them to add some stuff in here that isn't just like a passive bonus. Add something that's like, I don't know, like almost like adding like legendary aspects in a way to the Paragon board, where like, if I select this node, my whirlwind turns into like a cyclone or something. I don't know. Like, instead of me just spinning my blade, I turn into a tornado. Some crazy shit like that. And lightning like strikes out at my enemies. I don't know. I just want to see some like more interesting shit in the Paragon board. Because that is kind of the standard for ARPGs now. Like I said, we have Wolcen, which I know that's kind of a meme, but if you played Wolcen, their skill tree was pretty damn good. Or their passive tree, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, like I played PoE, like everybody knows that skill tree, but I would just like to see some of that brought to Diablo 4. Let's talk about leveling. In general, I think the experience curve happens too quickly and it's too steep. Basically, when you hit level 50, you run into a fucking brick wall. Leveling is like really fast, really fast, really fast. You hit level 50, that's your first brick wall. And you're like, oh shit, this is actually taking a long time, right? And then you hit your second wall at level 70. So level 70 was the next point where I felt like, oh shit, this is actually really slowing down. And then, I'm not there yet, but the overworld caps at level 95. So once you hit level 96, your experience starts tanking as well. And at that point, it's better to like do Helltide or like Nightmare Dungeons or whatever. But I think, honestly, that's how it should be. But honestly, I actually think it's still better to just spam normal dungeons. So, The problem with this is that I think most classes are going to struggle to do high level nightmare dungeons for that XP when they hit level 96. Because a lot of the builds, they just suck. Like, Pulverized Druid is still really good. It's been nerfed. Whirlwind Barbarian is still good. If you have the perfect gear, Whirlwind Barbarian can still be good. Even though it got nerfed 57 times. But it kind of just seems like anytime there's maybe an outlier where one build is performing drastically above the rest, Blizzard will just nerf it. And it's instead of, potentially buffing the worst builds, they just want to nerf the best one. I don't really agree with that. And I think that causes an issue because, like I said, a lot of these classes, Necro, Sork, like they're going to struggle to do these higher tier nightmare dungeons. Unless they just get completely geared out like I am right now. So I don't really agree with that design philosophy. I think getting to level 70, even level 75 should be way easier. I think you should be able to hit like level 80 in one day, to be honest. So the reason why is at that point, you'll have enough Paragon to where your character doesn't feel like an absolute piece of dog shit. You'll have some power. You'll find some gear. It'll just feel better to play your class. You'll get some legendary nodes. And, for example, Diablo 2, like you guys know that I play that game. I love the fuck out of that game. In Diablo 2, sorry, I just had to check to make sure that I was actually recording. I just gave myself anxiety because I thought I wasn't recording. Diablo 2, you can get to level 85 in one day, right? And that's I don't want to say that's casually blasting. It kind of is casually blasting, because I know turbo blasters, the pro players, they're hitting level 93 in one day. You know what I mean? Level 95 or whatever. In Diablo 2, you get to level 85. It doesn't start slowing down until you get to 85 because Hell Bale is a level 85 zone, right? So, and the reason why I think that system is better is because it allows your builds to come online and it makes the game more fun because you feel like you can actually play the game. So I think leveling just needs to be way higher or way faster. I mean, as it stands right now, I don't think most casual players are going to hit level 70. I thought I was being slow. I'm level 83. I went and checked a streamer who I know for a fact has done back-to-back 30-hour streams. He's level 67 when I last checked. And I was like, oh, shit. So I'm actually way ahead of a lot of people. And I didn't realize that. And that's because, I've been off work since last Thursday. So I've just been absolutely annihilating the game. Hey, 69. Nice. Anyway. Yeah, when I walk around the world, I'm usually higher level than most people. And I have had people, message me. They're struggling to find gear. They're struggling to level up. They want some tips, how do they play the game? So I think leveling just needs to be way easier, to be honest. And that kind of goes into my next point. Requiring players to farm out perfect gear to make a build viable, aka Whirlwind, is not good game design. Builds should feel good to play with decent gear and just get exponentially better with perfect gear, right? Currently, that is not the case for most builds, if not all of them. When the game first came out, I'm going to admit, was Whirlwind too good? Yes, okay? I was very upset about the nerfs. I'm going to get some water real quick. Hold on. All right. I was very upset when the nerfs happened because I had just found the Bold Chieftain's ring. And when I found that, I switched to Whirlwind and I was like, oh my God, this feels so great. I'm having the time of my life. I'm destroying everything. Literally a few hours later, they nerfed the absolute fucking piss out of this ring. So it used to be cap out at 5.4 seconds for a maximum of 12 seconds, and now it's 1.9 for a maximum of 6. So barbarians got fucked, right? And did it need to happen? Probably. It just felt really bad because I didn't have any gear. So when that happened, it turned into me like having to use my generator 8 times in a row so that I can whirlwind for 2 seconds and then I'm empty again. And then I have to do it all over again. That doesn't feel good, man. A lot of classes are like that. I know Druid is like that early on. Like you're using your generator for like a minute and a half, and then you can do one pulverize, and then all your resources gone, right? So I think resource generation needs increased, and I think resource cost needs reduced in a big way. Because it makes the builds feel bad until you get to endgame and you get your endgame gear. So let's take a look at my gear real quick, okay? Everything is level 5, right? And I have maybe not the best rolls, but I have the rolls that I'm looking for, right? So I don't know if you guys just heard my cat just absolutely fucking wail at me, but anyway. So here we got cooldown on my helmet. I got the Rage of Harrogath chest. I got a max up to a 40% chance to reduce cooldowns of your non-ultimate skills by 1.5 seconds with a lucky hit. And then I've got my crit chance, lucky hit chance, my whirlwind, my strength gloves. I found this temerity yesterday. And I did get the max 80% barrier roll, my first temerity. So that feels good. My boots, I mean, these boots are just absolutely insane. I got move speed after killing an elite, berserk duration, fury cost reduction, movement speed. My mace, crit damage, vulnerable damage, core damage. Damage over time is kind of shitty. I'm trying to roll a mace. I got 2 maces actually that I'm trying to roll right now. So I know the max roll guide. So this one I have vulnerable damage, close damage, core skill, and strength. So I really want crit damage on this one. This one, I have crit, vulnerable, close, and strength. This roll right here, this is the roll that max roll says you want. I kind of want the core skill damage over the strength, but I realize the strength does give me armor, so maybe I'll stick with this one. I'm not sure. I've been rolling these. They both cost me 2 million gold to roll now, so feels bad. But anyway, so I got those. I found this sword yesterday. Crit damage, close, core skill, vulnerable. Crit, core, vulnerable, close. And then this one is close, crit, 189 strength, vulnerable damage, right? So maybe I will just stick with this roll right here. I'm not sure. For my mace, because I know the damage over time, this is just a completely wasted stat. My rings are absolutely incredible, right? I've got resource generation, lucky hit chance, vulnerable damage, crit strike. I've got a 1.6 cooldown, shout cooldown on here. I do have a 1.9. Somewhere in here, I do have a 1.9. There's a 1.1. Jesus, there's a 1.4. There's my 1.9. So I do have the 1.9. I'm just not entirely certain I want to keep the lucky hit chance on this ring yet. So I might roll that for crit damage. But I do have 25% lucky hit chance, which I think is kind of where you want to be. So maybe I'll keep that. And then this one, same thing. Vulnerable, lucky hit, crit chance, resource generation. I do have some pretty bad rolls. I'm missing 3% crit. Here I'm missing like 2% resource gen, missing like 6% resource gen here. And my vulnerable damage, I'm missing like 10% vulnerable damage. You know, this right here, this is only a tier 4 amulet. It's not a tier 5. So I'm missing a ton of cooldown from this, but I do have fury cost reduction. The brute force passive is a completely wasted stat. But I do have the 3 to defensive skills. So I'm still trying to find a better amulet. But basically, what we're looking at here is I've got 23.5 Fury cost reduction. I can get this higher. I've got 30% Fury generation. That's pretty good. 4 Fury on kill. That's from my Paragon. 123 move speed, 30% move speed after killing an elite. I've got 22.5 cooldown. I'd want to get this up to 30. And then I've got, 25% lucky hit chance. This is pretty good. And I got my 30% berserking duration, stuff like that. 440 critical strike damage, 406 damage with core, 283% vulnerable damage, like 812 strength, which is giving me 70% skill or 80% skill damage. Sorry. So my barbarian's a fucking beast, right? And the problem is he didn't start feeling good until I got all this cooldown, until I got this chest piece, until I got the disembowel glyph, right? Reduce your cooldowns. You have to make Whirlwind feel good. You have to fully build into cooldown, resource cost reduction, and fury generation. Fully, 100% commit to it. And like obviously, like I sacrificed damage for this lucky hit chance, right? So Whirlwind for me right now feels really good, but I had to get perfect gear essentially to get here, and I don't really agree with that. I think it should feel good, it should be viable with decent gear. Once you get perfect gear, it should feel incredible, right? But I think builds should be playable with just, okay gear. So that's where I'm at with that. So let's talk about itemization a little bit. I've seen criticism about itemization being boring in this game. I don't really have that opinion. I think the itemization we're seeing here is pretty on par with itemization that exists in other games. When I look at Diablo 2, I don't think Diablo 2's itemization is like particularly exciting. You're just kind of looking for like plus to all skills. If you're a sorceress, you want faster cast rates. You want mana, stuff like that. And all of that kind of exists here. I know we don't do there's no more like faster cast rate. It's just like cooldown, attack speed, stuff like that. And you're really just looking for like crit chance, crit damage, all of that. But that's kind of how all these games kind of go. Maybe it could be a little bit deeper. Maybe it could be more like a PoE where you're not necessarily looking for just like vulnerable damage. You're looking for like damage more like specific to your class, or elemental damage, is like a thing in PoE. But I agree there's nothing here that's game changing. However, I do feel that the progression is there. When I found this weapon upgrade yesterday, I immediately felt it because I had a dog shit two-handed slashing weapon. And when I found this upgrade, I instantly saw my damage go up by like 50k. Like no bullshit, right? When I got all the cooldown on my gear and I upgraded everything, I felt it. When I got the crit chance, I felt it. When I got the lucky hit, I felt it. I feel this Rage of Haragoth chest piece. Like, I feel everything. When I find something new, it's not negligible. Like, I definitely feel it. So I do think the progression is pretty good. In Diablo 3, you kind of reach a point where like things like cooldown and resource costs don't matter. Because that game has been power crept in such a way that you can just kind of blast through. None of that stuff matters. If you find it on your gear, cool. If not, it doesn't really matter, right? You have the cube, you've got legendaries that reduce your cooldown. You got the Ingeom, you got the Messerschmitt's axe or whatever, just shit like that. In Diablo 4, I feel like the stats on my gear actually affect my character, and I do like that. So now we're in the general feedback rapid fire session as we wrap up the video. Number one, please stop nerfing everything. Please. I was very upset when I saw barbarians get nerfed for like 3 days in a row. It felt really bad for me, and it just made me want to quit the game. Like, it doesn't do anything but make classes feel worse to play. You shouldn't balance the game around the top 1% players. You should balance the game around, you know, the player who, the 45-year-old dad who comes home from work, has a beer, and has an hour to play before the wife and kids get home. You know, balance the game around him. Don't balance it around somebody like me who took the week off so that I could play Diablo for 16 hours a day. You know? Just let the game be fun. Crowd control in the game needs reduced by 75% or more. It's not fun losing control of my character and dying. Not fun. The crowd control in this game is ridiculous. If you're playing a class as a barbarian, I have so much access to unstoppable that it's way better for me than it is for like a Sork, right? But even for me, it's annoying. So for other classes, I'm sure it is just a huge pain in the ass. Please remove the crowd control. Summoning the horse out in the open world should not have a cooldown. I don't know why it does. When I get off my horse, or if I get knocked off my horse, there's like a 30-second cooldown. Why does this exist? And then the dismount attack. I'm going to show you guys something. Perfect. I get on my horse. My attack is immediately on cooldown. Why? I haven't used it yet. The dismount attack cooldown is tied to when you summon the horse. And see, I just got off my horse. Now there's a cooldown on summoning the horse again. This feels like dog shit. Okay? When I'm doing the Helltide, I want to get on my horse. I want to run. And I want to blast these guys right here. Oh, I can't because my slam is on cooldown even though I haven't used it for like 45 seconds while I was killing that pack. Oh, look, I'm fucking crowd controlled. Jesus Christ, man. I'm crowd controlled. I don't have my unstoppable up. I'm getting fucking shit on. I mean, oh my God. Did you guys just see that? And now I can't summon my fucking horse because it's on cooldown. Why can't I summon the horse? Let me get on the fucking horse. All right, I can get on the horse. Oh shit, my dismount attack is on cooldown. Like, it just feels bad, man. If you're gonna have the horse be on cooldown, untie. The dismount attack should be based on when I last used the dismount attack. It should not be instantly on cooldown as soon as I got on the horse. I know why they did this, because they think it's going to be abusable. It's not abusable, okay? Because they don't want you to just mount and instantly get your dismount attack. Cool, here's how you fix it. If I've already dismount attacked, why is that Helltide chest still showing there? You guys see that? Anyway, if I've dismount attacked recently, just don't... It's still there! The Helltide's gone! What the fuck? Can I open it? No? Oh my God. Alright, that's a weird bug. Interesting. I'm gonna screenshot that. Anyway. Tie the cooldown of the dismount attack to when I last used the dismount attack, not when I summon the horse, because that just feels really fucking bad. It's not good. Because I end up just having to dismount and then attack. And the dismount attack feels good. Like, it's a really nice addition. The only other game that I played where you could, like, attack with a horse was fucking Darksiders 2. If you guys played that game, there was, like, a horse attack you could do. And that was fun. But, yeah, anyway. That's my feedback about the horse. If you guys don't know this, now that we're on the horse still, boosting on mouse and keyboard, your speed is based on how far away your mouse is from the horse. And I have a feeling this is because they designed the game for console. And when you point your left thumbstick, it's just automatically as far as it'll possibly go. So your horse is always max speed. On mouse and keyboard, this is not the case. There's no way that that's intended, so please fix that. Nightmare dungeons. Why is it that when I use a Nightmare Dungeon sigil, here, I'll do it right now. When I pop this, I have to walk all the way over here. So obviously I would port here and then walk down here. Why? If I'm in town and I use my Nightmare Dungeon sigil, I should be able to just warp directly to the dungeon. So that feels bad. On death effects are dog shit and should be removed entirely from the game. I hate killing an enemy and then he's going to explode and one-shot me, so I have to run away from my fucking loot. No. This is the worst part of PoE that they brought into Diablo 4. Nobody wants that. Nobody likes it. Just remove it from the game. We need an event timer. If you guys played Lost Ark has the best event timer I've ever seen in the video game. We need something that tells us something on the map, that just a timer up over here on the left, something, or make it a drop down or whatever. 30 minutes till Helltide, 10 minutes until Legion Invasion, 2 hours until World Boss, you know, something like that. Because right now, nobody has any fucking idea when any of this stuff's going to happen. Stash space. We have no fucking stash space at all. And there's no personal stash. This is all shared. So my stash is fucking full, man. Not only do we need more stash space, we need a search function. This existed in Diablo 3. I don't know why we don't have a search in Diablo 4. Please give us a search function. Please give us more stash space. We need an armory to save our builds. Currently, respeccing the Paragon is a huge pain in the ass. You can't just refund all. You have to go through and individually reset each fucking node on the Paragon board. That is dog shit. Nobody wants that. Give us an armory so we can save our Paragon builds. Or if you're not going to give us an armory, at least let us save Paragon builds in the Paragon board itself, right? And it doesn't have to be... I've seen games where, like, you can use the armory to get around, like, having to pay for, like, respec and all that shit. You don't even have to do that, right? Ragnarok Mobile. I know that's real niche, and you guys are probably like, what the fuck is he talking about? Ragnarok Mobile has a system similar to this Paragon board where you, like, pick stats and you, like, go through and you get, like, bonuses for your character and everything. You can save a build, and then if you respec, it still deducts the gold or whatever it is in that game that it costs you to redo it. So you can still charge us the gold. That's fine. Just let us save builds. Okay? Once again, armory existed in Diablo 3. Why is it not in Diablo 4? Mount collision. I know I just got done talking about mounts, but if anybody has ever ridden a mount ever, you know that mount collision is really fucking bad. You even saw it. I didn't highlight it when I was out here running, but I'll just randomly get stuck on shit that doesn't make any sense. And like there, I just got, what did I get stuck on? What am I stuck on right there? Look. The hitbox for the horse, I feel like, is just like, here's my horse, right? But this is my hitbox, right? It's just so big. So the horse just needs, they need to work on the horse. They need to make the horse feel better. And also, like, being able to, like, jump across. I'm supposed to be able to jump across this, and it just doesn't work. There, it worked that time. It's very inconsistent. You have to hit it at, like, the right angle to get it to work. So horse collision, horse pathing, like, all that just needs fixed. The last thing I have here, where's the gem tab? Okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slots in my inventory that I don't get to use because I pick up gems. This is not 2001. We don't need this. Give us a gem tab. Okay. Anyway, that's all I have written down on this document. I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. Talked about the shop. Talked about all that shit. I guess I didn't talk about social. So let's talk about that real quick. There's no world chat. Why? Why is there no world chat? There's no group finder. So as a solo player, if I'm not like joining a Discord or some bullshit, I can't find anyone to play with. We had matchmaking in Diablo 3. Why is it not in this game? Give us a group finder. Give us a general chat. It's really hard to find groups right now. The social aspect, aside from like seeing other people randomly in game, doesn't exist. So we need that stuff added. I guess you do have the clan system, but like this clan is literally just me and like one of my IRL friends. So it's like whatever, man. Yeah, that's all I got, guys. Overall, I will say I do kind of feel like I've kind of run out of stuff to do. There is stuff for me to do. I just don't feel like there's any point for me to do it, right? I have like 100 Forgotten Souls, but once I get, once I re-roll this gear that I have right now, I don't really need these anymore. My gear is really good. Aside from like this amulet and, improving this one stat on this mace, which I think I already have a mace to replace this with. I don't really need any gear. So at that point, my character's kind of done. All I'm doing is grinding levels so I can get my Paragon. So I need 17 more levels. And then I get my glyphs to level 21. And then like I'm done with the game, right? There's really not anything for me to do. And that's fine. I think Diablo 4 at its core, everything is there. It's a good core game. I'm really excited to see like how they're going to expand with seasons, what more systems are going to add, what other progression tiers are going to add. Because as it stands right now, I'm not as enthralled with the game as I thought I was going to be. I finished the map, I finished the renown and all that stuff. Obviously I haven't blasted all the dungeons, but I'm just not going to do that. I'm probably not going to finish the side quests either. I think I don't think this game was made for me. I think this game was made for like the more casual player, and that's fine. That's how it should be. But for me, I think I'll probably just give this game like an 8 out of 10. I know I've only been playing for a week, but I have put in, a little over 100 hours in the game so far. So, in a week. So, I have blasted the shit out of this game, and that's way more than like your average player who's playing like 2 hours a day, right? They're not going to be anywhere close to where I am. So, I do think this game was made for casual players, but I also think there's a lot of casual, unfriendly systems in the game. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag right now. But I do think at its core, it's a really good game. I do enjoy playing it. If they nerf Barbarian again, I'm just going to stop playing. And then I'll come back for Season 1. But yeah, guys. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I think, unfortunately, this is an hour-long video again. But, yeah. Said everything I wanted to say. Peace.